Welcome to the SABC News COVID-19 Global Wrap, where we bring you highlights of stories that dominated headlines across the globe with regards to the coronavirus pandemic. I am Babalole Phaka and I'm not alone. I'm with my colleague Busisiwe Khadebe. But before we get into anything, let us have a look at some global statistics. There are over 5.2 million confirmed cases, with over 2 million recoveries and over 300,000 deaths. South Africa has over 19,000 confirmed cases, over 8,000 recoveries, and over 360 deaths.
South Africa recorded its first neonatal death on Wednesday. The premature 2-day-old baby was born with lung complications. The mother had tested positive for COVID-19. On Thursday, the South African COVID-19 Modelers Consortium predicted that South Africa could see up to 50,000 deaths and as many as 3 million infections by the end of 2020. The National Association of School Governing Bodies is not convinced that all provinces are ready for the reopening of schools on the 1st of June. This after Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga on Tuesday announced that grade 7 and 12 learners will be returning to class as part of a phased approach. Concerns have been raised as the Department of Basic Education is yet to deliver personal protective equipment and other essentials necessary to some schools. And the Department of International Relations says it will not cover costs for repatriated citizens who want to return to their places of work as lockdown restrictions begin to ease in some parts of the world. On to other parts of the continent. Confirmed COVID-19 cases in Africa are over 99,000, with over 39,000 recoveries and over 3,000 deaths. Director General at the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, has commended Madagascar's effort in the fight against COVID-19. Good call with President of Madagascar about COVID-19 situation in his country. We discussed how to work together on therapeutics research and development. And we agreed that solidarity is key to fighting the pandemic and keeping the world safe. At an African Investors Forum, investors have agreed that fast-tracking the African Union's 5% infrastructure agenda is critical in the fight against COVID-19. However, the big question is, where must the money be invested?
When it comes to the uncertainties in the post-COVID-19 economy, one thing we know is really certain, that the world is going to be digital globally and on the continent as well. So we are really going to be investing in new digital innovation, new digital trading platforms, like the one that the African Union's Business Council is driving, Africa PLC, which is an e-trade platform.
And in some positive news, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has lauded the way African countries have managed the COVID-19 pandemic, saying Africa has set an example for the rest of the world.
And now for international news. As all 50 states move towards reopening the economy, the United States of America has recorded over 1.6 million confirmed COVID-19 cases, over 96,000 deaths, and over 380,000 recoveries. President Donald Trump disclosed that he is taking the anti-malaria drug hydroxychloroquine as a preventative measure against the virus. This is despite the Food and Drug Association cautioning about reports of heart rhythm problems in COVID-19 patients treated with the drug. The World Health Organization says it is working on a long-term strategy to finance its work after Trump reiterated his threat to permanently pull funding from the body. Trump is accusing it of mismanaging its global response to COVID-19 pandemic and has called for a number of reforms. And in South America, Brazil is fast facing the prospect of becoming the nation with the second highest COVID-19 cases in the world. The country recorded 1,179 deaths on Tuesday and close to 20,000 new infections on Wednesday. In Asia, the reopening of schools was very short-lived after 2 learners tested positive for COVID-19 in a school in Seoul, South Korea. 75 high schools have since ceased schooling amid safety fears. The European Union has issued new travel guidelines for the safety of passengers and aircrew as countries prepare to reopen their borders. These include hygienic measures, wearing of masks, and declaring one's COVID-19 status before receiving a boarding pass. Italy plans to reopen its borders on June 13 and Greece on June 15th.
For the latest updates on the coronavirus, visit sabcnews.com.